by one evaluator, every speech. However, today we're going to have a panel evaluation where I am the moderator, and we have 3 evaluators who will evaluate each speech. So usually every speaker will get 1 evaluation. Today, each speaker will be taken to task, will be evaluated by 3 evaluators. So my role is to make sure that every speaker gets adequate evaluation, gets more than 1 evaluator to give a evaluation. And yeah. So talking about the first speaker, Toastmaster Ram. The objective was, so with me to do the evaluation, we have 3 evaluators, Toastmaster Heather, Toastmaster Mary Jo, and Toastmaster Saleh with me. The objective of the first speech is the speaker had to define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring and share his experience as a prodigy. Toastmaster Heather, did speaker do justice in sharing his experience as a prodigy? Yeah, is this?
Okay. Ram, I felt like you were very engaging with your different stories of the different people who helped to mentor you. And I think you also did a really nice job of referring back to a previous speech that had been evaluated. So that was great. And I think it was also really nice to see how different members of the club are, everybody's helpful, but it was nice to see how you utilize different members of the club to help you with different aspects of your speaking.
Thank you. Toastmaster Mary Jo, if speaker has to challenge himself, what will that be?
My first point to challenge yourself, Ram, would be the usage of slides. So I liked the usage of slides when it came to showing the members who inspired you, but when it came to the text, I feel like there was no need for it. It was preferable for you to just focus on yourself. You were saying the same words, so I would prefer to hear them from you and not be distracted by the screen. Same for showing us the points. You can just showcase them by yourself. Second point would be your voice modulation. So your kind of voice, I feel it would use some variation of volume and pitch so that you can keep us engaged throughout the speech. Especially, for example, some simple ways you could practice this when you're mentioning your several mentors. Scream out their name. Just to practice, because it's not easy to introduce this when by default your voice is monotone. This is what you're used to. So simple examples, introduce them mindfully in your speech. For example, the names of your mentors or the conclusion. Many small ways to do it throughout your speeches. Those are the 2 points to challenge himself.
Rightly said. Toastmaster Saleh, can you share any one aspect where the speaker was successful in keeping the audience engaged?
Actually, the aspect is his personal story.
Okay.
That in his company, when they request him to do a speech in the next day, and he was getting that panic, but when he contacted Toastmaster Ramanat, he gave him that guidance, he gave him that support, and this is the real duty, let's say, of the mentor, that he stand, as he mentioned, the speaker, step by step with him, not in the back or in the front. No, he's shoulder to shoulder, was supporting him, and he gave that speech in a powerful way.
So, Toastmaster Ram, in summary, yes, you did take the right references of your mentors who helped you. And also, as far as suggestion is concerned, voice modulation, we all know that words, just 7% of the speech is what makes up words makes up the speech. The rest is all about the body language, wherein even voice modulation is very important. That's very important. You rightly said. We all know Ram as somebody who delivers in a very flat pace, and definitely you can challenge yourself as far as voice modulation is concerned. Yes, what was good where he kept the audience engaged is his personal story. Personal anecdotes makes a very, very good impact as far as delivery of speech is concerned. Moving on to the second speaker, Toastmaster Karan. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a communication plan. Let's see if the speaker did justice. Toastmaster Marijo. Non-verbal communication is very important in every speech. How was the body language and eye contact?
It's so challenging to evaluate Karan because he's always excellent, especially focusing on the body language and the eye contact and the gestures. I noted down excellent eye contact. I'm sure that he practiced it so much. So he moved around the stage, he was there, and not only looking there, looking at me as well. On the other side, when he's there, he's looking there. He's looking everywhere, so great job with the eye contact. As well with the stage, I already mentioned. The gestures, you're always doing the right gestures. Even the role-playing, if you noticed, he was role-playing his communication with his friend. So he was standing on one side. Maybe you turned your back a bit in this part of the stage, but it was very brief, so not too noticeable. Then you went there, so I think it was excellent, as usual. This is what we expect from Karan. You set high expectations, I'm sorry. This is on the body language.
Okay. Toastmaster Heather, can you suggest 2 areas of improvement?
No, I just didn't have any notes about that, actually, to be honest. What would I do for improvement? Okay, I really enjoyed that you had a great use of pauses for effect when you wanted to make a point. But I think you could actually maybe vary the pace a little bit more because it was very slow and deliberate and measured. And but then if you changed up the pace occasionally, I think that would just keep everybody on their toes a little bit. And something that I liked, but also maybe you could improve on it, is that you were kind of inspirational about how, okay, anybody can invest. You don't need much money, you don't need much knowledge, just give it a go and see what happens, and so that was very encouraging. But you maybe could have given us a little bit more specific information about how to get started. Like, for example, you mentioned any kind of exchange house. Give us a few examples. Okay, are you saying, okay, use Fidelity, just maybe throw out a couple more specific things so someone who's just getting started would have an idea of where to start.
Thank you, Heather. Toastmaster Saleh, what do you feel was Karan's strength as a speaker? His muscles?
Actually, if we will talk about the body language, he was 100% perfect. And about the story, how he was having an issue to find the person or the guidance to give him the action to start the investment, not only through the lectures. And he kept searching for that till he found the Indian American investor who gave him and he taught him how to layer investment. And then he started his YouTube channel, and we know that he is now doing very well in that.
Okay. In summary, Toastmaster Karan, the speech, his eye contact was good, gestures was good, and his role play with Rahul was good. And of course, his body language was good. As far as suggestion is concerned, as rightly said, probably could work on the pace and strength. And most importantly, if you could have suggested some specific houses as Heather told, and probably if you could have told us your net worth, it would have been better. Next time you'll share with us your network.
Can I add one quick
Yes,
thing
please.
to Sam Alwyn? Just I want to remind everyone and Karan that not all projects are only speeches. So I'm not sure if this one was only a speech about communication or actually developing a communication plan. I did not read the whole project, so I would just invite you to go back to the project, see if there was any prerequisites, because if the project was developing a communication plan, I did not hear about a communication plan. So I'm not sure if maybe someone has a better idea, but I would just encourage to check the project and if it has any prerequisites.
Very good.
That's a good point.
Very good point.
The speech objective did say how to practice developing a communication plan.
So it was a lot about communication, but I'm not sure exactly if it was the objective. So this is why I just revisit the objectives. Maybe it was, maybe I'm mistaken, but this is just what I acknowledge.
You could have been more clear on the communication plan, but you did mention about how Munish Babri, so got the name right, how he came up with this video and said, how can a student learn to invest? That was the video. He spoke about you have to pick up 3 companies, set up a brokerage account, and buy with conviction. This is what it is. Yes, you didn't tell us, it made it very evident and clear about a plan. You did in bits and pieces tell us, probably can be more clear, but that's what the project objective says. Develop a communication plan.
Heather has something.
Well, and you are also communicating your learnings for what they are through your YouTube channel to pass on what you've learned so far. So you could approach it that way also.
Moving on to Toastmaster Kalni, speaker number 3. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Right. Toastmaster Marijo. Structure is very important for a story. That's opening, body and conclusion. How was the conclusion?
The conclusion specifically?
Yeah.
Honestly, I liked the message. It was very, like the whole story. I can't speak about the conclusion. I feel like I'm starting an evaluation from the end. I can't speak about the conclusion without speaking about the story, like how engaging it was. I felt like, because we were engaged throughout the story, I felt like the conclusion should have been as engaging as the content, the whole content. So this is what the conclusion was missing. Maybe try to add some engagement in the conclusion, just like you did in the introduction and the whole body, and also practice the conclusion even more, because I feel everything was on point. The conclusion could have added a bit more effort. Specifically about the conclusion, that's what I have to say.
Toastmaster Heather. Stories, especially personal anecdote, has a very good impact on the audience. How did you like the story?
Okay, so your story, you handled the situation with equanimity. I just thought the story was hilarious. I mean, it was just this crazy, completely bonkers thing that happened. Like the person's in your house, and then you ran outside, but he was still in the house, stealing your stuff, and you managed to get your stuff back, which is it's just bonkers, okay? So I thought the story was very entertaining. I think at a few parts, you could have actually left out some details because you gave us a lot of details that, in your mind, because it's the story, they're details for the story, but they're details that we don't need to know, for the story to be effective, and so bogged down the story a little bit in a few points. But overall, I thought the story was just a riot. And I think that one thing you could do to add to the story is to work a little bit more on your voice modulation and gestures, because there were times where, now I can't remember the specific thing that you said, but you were talking about chasing the thief, right? And you were kind of like, we were chasing the thief, but we were chasing the thief, make it really because it was a dramatic moment, make it look as crazy as it was, and you were kind of reserved with some of that. So I think that would have added even more to the story.
Thank you. Toastmaster Saleh, we all know that 7% is what is verbal about a speech. How do you feel Toastmaster Kalni could have done better as far as the body language is concerned? Again, adding to Heather's point.
Yeah, actually, I have 2 points for the
Body language.
First of all, that 70% of her speech, she was having this hand posture
Okay.
like that. I think you need to use it on purpose. You can use one time the right hand, the left hand, but not to keep it all the time like that. Second is the eye contact. When you are moving from a side to side, you are looking where you are walking. Just keep your eyes with the audience and walk normally. There is no any obstacles in the stage. That's the 2 points.
Thank you, Saleh. In summary, the story was very hilarious. As far as the conclusion is concerned, you could have made it more impactful. Voice modulation, definitely you have to work on that, and gestures. When it comes to storytelling, it's good to be as vivid as possible, as the body language has to be as loud as possible. That will definitely have a better impact. Story, how we can see and feel and visualize your story through you, through your eyes. So the body language, I know you are quite restricted as far as body language is concerned, but I'm sure you can work a lot with free hand gestures and use the stage as much as possible and move with a purpose. So the last speaker, speaker number 4, speaker Toastmaster Shani. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Let's see if Toastmaster Shani has done justice. Toastmaster Heather. Did Toastmaster Shani research the topic well? What are your thoughts?
Actually, one of my notes was that you had an excellent use of scientific references. Excuse me. And you had everything memorized. You didn't even have notes. You know, you knew the year and the author and the quote and the publication and everything. So I thought that was very impressive.
We'll verify them after this.
Yes, I thought it was very, very impressive. So yes, from that speech objective, you definitely met the criteria.
Thank you. Toastmaster Marijo. Any suggestion you would like to give for Toastmaster Shani to take his speech to the next level? We know he's an amazing speaker. We have heard him many times. Any suggestion?
Honestly, from last time he gave a speech and now, Shani, I think you deserve to be participating in contests. You have a very high level of speeches and delivery. I do have today 2 points that I feel like your speech had a lot of potential for them, but were not present like your previous speeches. Engagement and humor. So your speech was about social media and overuse of digital devices. So much potential for engagement and humor. As an example, of course, I don't have too many examples in mind. You can be creative in that. But an example to start, for example, your speech, challenge us to not use our phones until the end of the day. Or ask us who can not use the phone until end of day. No one will raise their hands. Then until end of meeting. I assure you no one will also raise their hand. It will be a funny moment and engaging. Very simple example, but a lot of potential because it's really something every single person relates to. So I'm sure that you could have added a lot of potential in that. That's it for me. Like, very nice title as well. Like just, I love the creativity behind it. That was amazing. That's it for me.
Ting, dopamine. Yes. Toastmaster Saleh, how was the closing of Toastmaster Shani's speech?
It was a little bit strong when he challenged that, are you controlling the phone or the phone controlling you? I think this is a good closing for his speech. That's what I have.
Yes, Toastmaster Shani, in summary, in summary, yes, you did give a lot of references. You spoke about Annie pathway. Even she's a Toastmaster, I guess. She's following some pathways. And how she told about the social media overusage. It's as bad as taking sugar on drugs. And you did talk about how to turn off the mobile into a black screen, right? And effects of technology, how you spoke about the global research report. We spend on average 6 hours a day, and especially in UAE, we spend about 8 hours and 6 minutes, right? I'm not sure if you're referring to me when you said UAE. Then I spend a lot of time on mobile. Okay, on average, yes. And you did give good tips as well. That's the highlight. A takeaway message definitely has a very good impact. Okay, you spoke about how to have a phone-free zone. Yeah, that's very nice. And turning the screen gray, using the phone less than 50%. These two, you gave about close to 7 tips, which is really good. Tips can be restricted to 5, but nevertheless, it's fine. Overall, yes, you did meet the objective. And yes, we got to witness very high quality of speeches. I'm sure Toastmaster Ramanath is so happy, okay, seeing members deliver such high quality speeches, so much so that for some speakers it's difficult to give feedback on areas of improvement. That's probably the quality of Emirates Toastmasters Club. And I guess you can reach out to VP membership and sign up. And with this, thank you all, and thank you all for the evaluators. Thank you. Thank you.